Hello everyone. Uh, Hello everyone. Are you all listening me? Please comment out if you're listening me carefully. Hello everyone. Uh, Hello everyone. Are you all listening me? Hello everyone. Hello everyone. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much everyone for being here. We are too much late because of some technical difficulties. So we are starting our presentation. We are starting our webinar right now, and this is all about OpenStack. So we are doing this webinar so that we can get started with OpenStack for public and private cloud. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much everyone for being here. We are too much late because of some technical difficulties. So we are starting our presentation. We are starting our webinar right now. I'm sorry that my YouTube channel was opened and uh, that was echoing. Okay. Here, Movashivian. I'm a data scientist working at Graho, and all I love about Python, Pandas, Koala, but not the pig. So this was one of the funny thing about me, and we are going to talk about the OpenStack overview and the components. So basically, what is OpenStack? OpenStack is a cloud operating system. OpenStack is basically a cloud operating system. What is OpenStack? OpenStack is a cloud operating system that controls large pools of compute, storage, and networking resources throughout a data center, all managed and provisioned through APIs with common authentication mechanisms. So this is basically a visual representation of OpenStack, how it works. So any type of services such as Kubernetes, Cloud Foundry, and Terraform, and also we can use built-in tools like OpenStack as SDK and Horizon UI. So the OpenStack is basically hello, hello. OpenStack is basically the combination of all bare metal virtual machines and also the containers. They are shared they are shared through service API. What is OpenStack landscape? So services to allow you to plug and play all the infrastructures together for any types of cloud computing. Like we have SDN, Neutron, service like Octavia, and we have DNS service like Designate, And we have also hardware lifecycle management services that we can talk about, like bare metal, ironic, and also we have accelerators like cyborg. And like we have been using S3 in AWS for our course. So in that sense, we have object storage system like Swift, we have block storage system like Cylinder, and we have file storage system like Manila. Okay, so we also have different shared services like Keystone, Placement, Glance, Barbican, Searchlight, Cardboard, etc. So we will talk all about this in details. Okay, so basically, we can say that OpenStack. We have also OpenStack lifecycle management. Lifecycle management, also managing recipes. Okay, so we have also OpenStack operations monitoring tools like Ceilometer, Monasca, optimization of policy tools like Watcher, Vintage, Congress, Rally, and we have different billing tools. So we have also multi-region tools. So basically, what happens here is that OpenStack is broken up into different services to allow us to plug and play components depending on your needs. So this OpenStack maps us to work with these services at a glance, so that we can have the view of the OpenStack landscape, OpenStack different landscapes. So we are also going to talk about different OpenStack components that are basically which are providing APIs to us to work with different infrastructure. So we have OpenStack deployment contains OpenStack deployment contains a number of components providing APIs to access infrastructure resources. So we have listed some services based on different intuitions, like we have compute services. Here is the Nova. Nova is basically a compute service. We have Zune. Zune is basically a container service. We have Keyline, which is basically a function service. And with that, we have different hardware lifecycle services like Ironic. Ironic is a basically a bare metal provisioning service. We have also Cyber, which is basically the life management of accelerators. So with AWS, like AWS S3, we have different storage service as well, which is basically Swift. Swift is basically for web object store, and Cinder block storage, and for shared file systems. We have also different networking services like Neutron. They're basically for networking. Octavia is basically for load balance. DNS service. So basically, you will see that we have all the services that we have seen for a long time in the AWS and other cloud services. And this OpenStack is basically general. I would say that this is the greatest open source project for any types of cloud computing works. We have Keystone. That we like IAM, and we have also placement services for it as well. We have Glance services. We have Barbican for key management services. We have application data protection as a service. So this is one of the important tools that we need for in terms of cloud computing. We have also Searchlight, which is basically indexing and search. We can use it for indexing or search to any types of work. Okay, so we have different orchestration services. We are so much familiar about orchestration service in our AWS, like CloudFront, CloudFormation. So we have also used another orchestration is script like Ansible in our lifetime for different types of development purposes. Here is different services provided by OpenStack, that is Heat, which is basically orchestration used for orchestration. We have Synlean, which is basically for clustering service. We have Mistral for workflow service. We have Zacker for messaging service. We have Blazor for resource reservation service, and we have also Auth for alarming services. So we have been using CloudWatch for different types of alarming services. We have used CloudFormation to reserve different types of resources from our AWS services. We have used SNS for messaging purposes, which we can do with here with Zacker. We have different types of clustering service, and these are all the services that we have been working with AWS. And one of the most important thing is OpenStack is an open source project, so we can work with this without any types of cost. So beside that, we have different workload provisioning, and workload provisioning, which is at the very first here is Magnum, which is basically a container orchestration engine provisioning service. And we have also Sahara, which is basically used for big data processing framework and provisioning. And we have Trough. Basically, this is a database service, like we have been using RDS in AWS. So we are getting the same service that AWS is providing to us. To with the open source project. So that was the main intuition to do this webinar, to let all the cloud lovers to know that we have another open source project we can work with, without any types of cost, or without any types of hassle, so that uh, we are not actually compelled to use AWS. Okay, so here is basically application lifecycle. Here is basically different types of application lifecycle. We can use a Masakari. Masakari is a basically instances high availability service. We have also Murano. Murano is an application catalog. Also, we have also Solam, software development lifecycle automation. So we can do the software lifecycle automation like we did with Amazon services. We have also Freezer, which is backup, restore, and disaster recovery services. So you can do all the things that you have been doing with AWS with cost. We can do it right here with free, without any types of cost. Only you have to bear the uh, management issues, like you have to get some engineers to manage all these things. Okay, so another thing is that we have different types of API proxies. With For that API proxy, we are using EC2 API. So this is basically EC2 API proxy. And for as in wave front, we can use Horizon. Why Horizon is basically a dashboard. So this is basically a great introduction to different OpenStack components. Okay, so next page, we with that we have different monitoring tool. Okay, we have different monitoring tools we can work with here. Uh, Hello, is everyone here hearing me? Please comment out that you are hearing me. Hello. Okay, so here is different types of monitoring tools. That is Cellumeter. Cellumeter is basically used for metering and data collection service. We have Panko, which is basically event metadata and indexing service. We have also Monaska. Monaska is basically for monitoring. So we have been using monitoring CloudWatch to monitor different types of issues, different types of events happening in our different types of resources. So this all this we can now use in this OpenStack. So we have also different types of optimization or policy tools, which is basically Watcher. So Watcher is for optimization service. We have Vertage. Vertage is used for root cause analysis service. We have also Congress, which is basically used for governance. We have Rally, which is basically that we have different we if we want to start any types of business with this OpenStack, so in that case we can use different types of billing or business logic. Okay, so for this we can use the Cloud Kitty. Cloud Kitty is basically for billing and chargebacks. So with that we have different types of multi-region tools. That is basic Tri-Circle is used for networking automation for multi-region. Okay, so we have all we use different types of add-ons to our services. Add-ons like storytellers, Istrolets is basically used for computable object storage. We can use the services for regions for adjacent tech, that is the containers, which is Kuri. Kuri is an OpenStack networking integration for containers. We have also NFB. NFB is a basically Tacker. This is basically used for NFB orchestration. Okay, so. Uh, Before working with the OpenStack, we need to analyze with different analysis different uh, use cases of OpenStack. So here is different OpenStack services, features and benefits and challenges. Right? So OpenStack services that are which are being mostly used, we are going to talking about. So the first one is Nova. So Nova is like EC2 instance in AWS. So this is basically used for computing orchestration and also work with hypervisors to create managed resources pools. Okay, so with after that we have Swift. Swift is like a S3 in AWS. This is basically a scalable storage system used for object storage. We have also Glance is for image. Glance is being used for image, that is basically manages stored images and can store and catalog an unlimited number of backups. We have also service like Cinder is used for block IO storage service that stores data for guest virtual machines. Okay, we have also Neutron. Neutron is basically a networking service that we have been using different types of VPCs or other networking services in AWS. So Neutron is a networking as a service, provides self-service networking capability for users. We have Horizon. Horizon is basically a dashboard that is a web front dashboard. A dashboard for graphical interface. Okay, and we have Keystone. Keystone is for security purposes, and we have been using different services in AWS for security purposes, which we can implement in OpenStack as well. That is security module with lightweight directory access protocol integration, provides authentication for all cloud services. So this is something like Amazon IAM. Okay, we have Ceilometer. We have been talking about Ceilometer. So Ceilometer is basically telemetry modules used for billing systems, has easily extensible counters. That's great. So we have also Heat. Heat is basically an orchestration tool. So this is an orchestration service for multiple composite cloud applications. Of Trove is basically a database as a service that provisions relational and big database engines. We have Sahara. Sahara is managed resource data processor, uses elastic MapReduce for Hadoop provisioning. Zacker is basically multi-tenant cloud messenger, allows message passing between apps. So this is something like SNS. We have Ironic. Ironic is a hardware lifecycle management system service that is a bare metal provisioning option used as an intern alternative to virtual machines. Okay, we have Kilo. Kilo is a service for shared file systems. Okay, so these are all the important services that we can use in AWS in OpenStack. Okay, so there are different features and benefits which for these OpenStack services. We are going to talk about it right now. So uh, the features and the benefits that this OpenStack can provide us, like leverages commodity hardware and different HDD or node failure agnostic. this is OpenStack. We can have unlimited storage. We can also have multi-dimensional scalability. Okay, we can the hello. Okay. So we can have leverages commodity and hardware. So leverages commodity and hardware. This is something. This is one of the features of OpenStack. We can say that. So what benefits this is going to provide? This is going to provide like no lock-in in lower price per GB. We have the benefits of HDD or node failure agnostic. So this is going to benefit like I would say that self-healing, reliable data redundancy protects from failures. We have unlimited storage. So for unlimited storage, we can use large and flat namespaces, highly scalable read and write access, able to serve content directly from the storage system. So we can also have benefits like uh, multi-dimensional scalability. So this is an scale out architecture. So scale vertically and horizontally like AWS. So horizontally distributed storage. So backups and archives large amounts of data with linear performance. That's really great. So or object structure. So not nesting, not a traditional file system. So this is basically optimized for scaling, and it is scaled to multiple petabytes and billions of objects. So configurable virtual instances, the variant of instances based on virtual CPU memory network capacity to support diverse amounts of compute and memory requirements. No central database here, no central database is being used. So this provides is basically high performance, no bottlenecks. That's really good. So built-in management utilities, account management, create, add, verify, and delete users. So container management like upload, download, and verify. Also monitoring like capacity, host, network, log trolling, and cluster health. So there are different drive auditing or fault tolerance benefits like detecting drive failures, preempting data corruption. We have also different types of we have also benefits like real-time visibility into client requests. This is going to provide us what are actually users are requesting or something like that. There are different S3 request from different types of resources, and we can also have benefits like encryption, like encrypt database and storage on transit, and raised by managed keys using which ensure better security in case of theft and stolen phenomenon. So these are all the benefits that OpenStack is going to provide to us. Okay. So there is some challenges in OpenStack is as well if you are going to use in your business. So these are the challenges. Maybe you don't have the trained engineers for OpenStack, and as this is an open source project and not everyone is using it in industry, so we may not get that much of community support. But this community is quite big and they're helpful. Yet we have lackage of trained engineers for these types of open source projects. So here is a saying by Gartner. Yeah, so Gartner predicts that by 2020, an overwhelming majority of corporations will do away with no cloud policies, adding that cloud first policies could also shift to cloud only policies. So this is one of the great quote by Gartner about OpenStack and the cloud computing future. uh, the OpenStack DevOps are OpenStack has different SDKs. So also we are going to talk about the deployment tools. We are going to talk about sample configuration for web. Okay. So OpenStack SDKs as SDK is basically the language specific wrappers. So we have two SDK for OpenStack. That is one is command line clients like OpenStack client that is being used different types of command line tools as a command line tools, and we have also Python support for OpenStack that is Python as OpenStack SDK. There are different types of deployment tools for OpenStack, that is install and maintain to install and maintain the life cycle of OpenStack. For frameworks for lifecycle management, we have Triplio, and we have OpenStack Helm, we have Pola, Ansible, that is like Ansible, we have been used for orchestration purposes. We have Kyobe, we have OpenStack Ansible, we have OpenStack Churns, we have Barfrost, we have OpenStack Chef. So we have different packaging recipes for popular frameworks like Puppet OpenStack. We have RPM packaging as well. So sample configuration, we are going to show you configuration for web development. So in web development, we have been using different services. We have been using different stacks for our web. Like as a user, when we request to some websites or some web applications to some server, there is a load balancer to let the request know that uh, uh, where should we go, like which ability chose, right? So for that purpose we use load balancer. Here we in OpenStack we have Neutron for load balancer. We use different compute instances like EC2 in AWS, which is basically Nova compute instance. We use different security group in AWS, the security group for different availability zones in one BPC, under one BPC. Here we have that as well. So for web security group, we have Neutron, and we have different auto scaling group as well. We have with app security group. We can use the Neutron as well. We have auto scaling group, and in some cases we can fail over and we have to do different types of replication to insert new instance to replace fail node and reattach cinder volume. So basically the cinder volume, and we have different database security group, we have different database instances. So like in this architecture we can use different types of OpenStack services for our web configuration, for our web application purposes. And we have beside web application purposes we have big data purposes. We can use OpenStack as well. You can find all the references to openstack.org to know more about these OpenStack services. So this is all about OpenStack. Thank you so much everyone. Yeah, if you have any question, then you can let me know so that I can answer you.